Hello, I'm Dr. Gareth Moore and I'm a puzzle and brain training author, but one of the things I do in my spare time is I really enjoy solving escape room type puzzles, and in this video I'm going to take a look at Crypt X. I'm not really going to solve much of it, I just want to have a look and see what's inside the box, because this is something I backed on Kickstarter ages ago and it never turned up. The company that made it went into administration and closed down, but it looks like it is actually going to become available to those who backed it if they pay for postage. Recently, however, a few of them went into retail, so I bought one. I bought this to have a look at it, which I think it might be quite useful to have a look at this and see whether it's worth paying again to get it actually delivered. So let's have a good look. Right, so here's the box, here's the cover. As you can see, it's a pretty solid thing. It's actually quite large, pretty big, and it has some text on the back. You're a PhD student on your first dig, heading into the Valley of the Kins in Luxor. There, your supervisor's been working for a month to help excavate a minor tomb just south of the burial chambers of Ramesses V. But when you arrive, you find out your supervisor hasn't been seen for days and shows no sign of coming back soon. Confused and concerned, you find a mysterious file on his desk labelled Crypt X and decide to investigate. Can you crack the mystery and discover where he is? Now, it has 51 puzzle cards, an excavation map, field notes and some mystery objects. And what's interesting is that it uses an app. Now, there's a barcode on the front. If you scan that on an iPhone nowadays, or actually if you scan it on any phone, you will discover that the website or into the box is gone. Maybe it will come back at some point. But that was there actually when I bought this about a month or so ago. And unfortunately there were no links to any apps. And I thought maybe that would be where my exploration of the game would end. But then I discovered that there is in fact an Android app here. Here it is. Which apparently I haven't really tried it. Apparently it has some issues, but it does seem to basically work. If I click puzzles, I can choose from one of the puzzles to answer, or I can view a little text introduction on how it works. It does seem to work. We'll come back to that in a minute. Far more interestingly, let's look at the box itself. So there's a nice slip sleeve. It's got a nice shiny finish. It's very nicely made actually. And then there's a box with a sleeve that comes off. It looks a bit like a book. And oh, there we go, there's a bit that slides out. And inside, what do we have? It's all quite nicely done, actually. Here's the field guide, field notes it refers to. There's a booklet, bit of text, instructions for a game, some graph paper, some directions, information about dynasties of Egypt. Anyway, there's not that many pages in here. I'll show you all of them. Some hieroglyphs and find Vinier key phrase. Okay, so that's all that's in there. But then in the rest of the box, there is, let's have a look. Wow. There is a piece of chunky thick cardboard with a push-out piece of numbered slab, I guess, and it looks like the tops and bottoms of that were going to push out. And then there's another push-out. These are going to assemble together, clearly. Yes, and there are, what's on the back of their numbers? 0101, okay, and lines, and then there are some hieroglyphs, and there's something that pushes through to connect it all together. Presumably that's part of some puzzle. Then there is a bag. It's sample 65. That's some stuff written on it. And then there is a plastic bag, presumably just to contain and keep safe this overlay. I'll show that on a post-it. So there we go, there's an overlay which you can presumably, well, I was going to say overlay or something. And what else is in the box? Go to the post-its, so they're not part of it. There's an East Valley map, the Valley of the Kins. There we go. Some Arabic writing at the top, presumably. Lost sunglasses around Rene, I think that says. Ramesses the 11th. NB, find location for field trip with students underlined. There's all bits and pieces on here, anyway. And maybe these colours around the edge are relevant, or maybe they're just decorations, or they repeat. I don't know. I'm not going to check it all the way around right now. There's a red filter. Oh, it's got more writing on it. It's an overlay of some sorts. It says Royal Archaeological Society. Associate membership. There's a membership number, and presumably this is overlaid to hide red text somewhere along the way. And then there is, oh, look at that. A little envelope with a ribbon with arrows on it. Let's open this and see what's in there. All this stuff is nice. It's a shame this was never delivered. I'd have been very happy with this. It was actually really not expensive compared to a lot of other products, or compared to basically any other product. Perhaps that was part of the problem, I have no idea. So that somehow will align with something or other. That's a very vague sentence, but there we go. It's a nice piece of fabric. It doesn't feel cheap. Then there's a bag with... Oh, I don't know what that is. What is it? I mean, technically it's plastic with bars on it, but what's it meant to be? I'm not sure. Does it open somewhere? I don't think so. It's probably solid. It feels like it's solid. Then there's a quite heavy metal coin with an eagle on it and some Greek writing perhaps, and some dots. Nothing on the sides that I can see. And then also in the thing there's a deck of cards. So in here there are a lot of cards. I don't know if there's 51 or 52, but they are all very different. Look at this. And they front and back and colour, and they're nice cardboard as well. I mean, they're not, there's nothing cheap about this. I mean, I don't know how good the puzzles are, which is obviously fundamentally, at the end of the day, is the real point, but it all feels very nice. So that's not a special cutout, look, with holes. Oh, that one too. That one feels different to the rest. Oh, it's got some sort of... Those are going to scratch off, I think. And there's something raised on here, I think. I think I can feel something. That's my imagination. Do they all have numbers on? Because at the moment they come in a particular order. Do I need to maintain that order? This says visible light number 1. That says 2. Because I noticed that in the app, if I bring that back up again, all of the puzzles have a number. So presumably I need to know what number I'm looking at. So this is 1, this is 2. That's presumably 3, unless it's 3 and 4, and that's what that means. This may be 5, but it's currently card 4. But then this one, oh no, this is 5. No. And maybe the back of it is 6, 7. Trying to work out. This says 9, number 9. Okay. I don't want to turn this, I don't really want to mess with this deck at all. Is this presumably 10? Where does it say that? Here, 10. Alright, so I think that's everything that's in the box. It's nice thick cardboard as well. There's some writing here. Dig started 20th of the 2nd. Maybe this is important to have. There are some pictures. It might not just be decoration. I don't know if there's anything under here. No, that's just the bottom of the box. And the box itself is actually quite plain. Right, so I think you can actually solve the puzzles. Whether the app is fully correct, I don't know. I've read on a forum that some people think it isn't correct for some puzzles. I have no reason to doubt them. So perhaps the app has never been finished being debugged. But should we try solving the first puzzle? If you're not interested in seeing the first puzzle solved, stop watching now. This is all I'm going to say that's general about the game. But I thought I'd test it now and see whether the app works. Right, so we've got a puzzle here. I'll put the rest of the deck across. It says visible light, number 1. Okay, number 1 is presumably the card. We have some symbol letters that are hard to read. We have purple through to white. And, a ruler in centimetres. And then on the back of it, which I assume is part of the puzzle, because this certainly looks related, doesn't it? So there's the ODF here. It says infrared image. So this is what we're seeing when it's in infrared. So what does that mean? Is this a reflection here? Is it meant to flip together? Yes, they do. Look, I can see that if you were to imagine folding that over, then this would be an L here. It would be Lordf. It would be Lord of Chaos. Lord of Chaos. I'm reading across by merging the line. The third line's now. Enemy of Ra. Serpent of Evil. Alright. So is that something we need to look up on the internet? Or is that something that's in here? Let me zoom back out. We're looking for an enemy of Ra who's a serpent of evil. I don't think that information is in this book. It's not on the other cards. They're for future puzzles. I think we've established that. It doesn't have any information on gods here, really. Or at all. I say really, no it doesn't. And it wasn't on the East Valley map, so I guess we're Googling this. Enemy of Ra. The Serpent of Evil. Very general thing to search for. Apophis. Okay, let's see if Apophis is the answer. So it's puzzle 1. Apophis. Is that? I don't really know. Right, let's just try typing it in here in the answer slot. Why does it say toggle answer slots? What does that do? Oh, it shows you how many letters you're looking for. Apophis doesn't have 4 letters, does it? Let's click submit. Incorrect. Helpful. Oh, wait. I've just looked a bit further at the window I just opened, and it says Apophis, also known as Apep. There, I can't apparently highlight it, but Apep. So I'm guessing the answer is, in fact, Apep. So knowing that it's 4 letters helps. Apep. Enter doesn't do anything. Let's press submit. Correct. Ooh, and we get some text. You're a little confused by this fake papyrus. I guess it's referring to this. Is David playing an elaborate joke? And who is David? Who is David? Is David playing an elaborate joke? Casting the card aside, you feel a sense of mild disappointment. It's just an Egyptian god, not some secret message, so why bother hiding it? Maybe you're reading too much into all this, after all. On the other hand, maybe you should keep looking through the file, just to be sure. Okay, so this is presumably a bit of paper, sorry, a bit of papyrus or something that was in the file that it referred to on the back of the box. Let me just read that text again. You're a PhD student. Doesn't mention David. It does remind me that we haven't read the text in the app yet. Back to menu. Is that doing anything? Yes, it was. Puzzle guide. What's it got to say? Okay, so I've just read this. There's a lot of text. I don't need to read it all. Basically, it says there are 51 cards, each marked with a number in some way, and each is a puzzle. And that you have to solve. You can solve puzzles 1 to 45 in any order, and they're called first level puzzles. Once you've solved all of puzzles 1 to 45, you can then attempt puzzles 46 to 50, which will require information from the puzzles you've already solved so far. It says that this will start to make sense as you solve them and you'll see patterns. And then once you've solved all of those 5 puzzles, you can then tackle puzzle 51. You'll know how the story ends, it says. And it says there are 3 hints for each puzzle that get more specific in turn, and that the answer slots are intended as hints, showing you what letters are there so that you know what to enter. And you don't lose any points for looking at the slots, but you do lose points. Was I getting points? Where was I getting points? I don't think it's showing me points anywhere, so maybe they never got around to implementing that. But anyway, you don't lose points for taking hints. Sorry, you do lose points for taking hints, but you don't lose points for viewing the answer slots. So there we go. That's what exists for Crypt X at the moment. An Android app that I've read online doesn't accept some valid answers, so maybe isn't quite right. I don't know about that. Certainly it looks like you can solve most of this. I don't know about you can get to the end or not, but certainly I can solve puzzle 1. And the materials inside the box were really nice. There's some bits and pieces that presumably associate with one, maybe a couple of puzzles, and some really varied cards that look like they're going to be a lot of fun to solve. So there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed having a look at that with me. If you did, why not check out some of my other videos in these playlists, or click the subscribe button wherever it is to make it easier to find my future videos. But until then, take care and goodbye.